Today we are in Lesson 7, Vision and Parts of the Eye. Let's look at some of the things that we have learned. We have learned that the human body systems are all interconnected and they rely on each other to work together. What are some of the names of the systems we've learned so far? Well, we started out learning about the skeletal system. We had the axial bones and we had the appendicular bones. Then we learned about the muscular system. And then we've been talking about the nervous system. Remember that the skeletal and muscular systems work together because the muscles tell our skeleton to move. But without our nervous system, we wouldn't be able to even send those messages to our muscles that then tell our skeleton to move. So they are all interconnected. Remember that the command center, when we're talking about the nervous system, that's like the boss. And our command center to our nervous system is the brain. We've learned about different kinds of muscles, both voluntary and involuntary muscles. Voluntary muscles are the muscles that we control by thought. We think about moving the muscles, our skeletal muscles, to move our bones. But then we also have cardiac muscle that's found in our heart. And we have smooth muscle, which is found in our stomach. And we do not consciously tell our stomach to digest food. And we do not consciously tell our heart to pump. Those are involuntary muscles. Remember that cells are the building blocks of life. Cells, special cells, come together to build tissue. And those tissues build organs. Today we're going to be learning about the eyes and the different parts that work together that allow us to see. We use our vision to help us to get around. Our vision keeps us safe by helping us avoid bumping into objects, walking into traffic, and so on. Observation is an important part of the learning process for scientists. Today we're going to be learning about the internal and external parts of the eye. So here's your purpose for listening. We're going to listen carefully to find out details about how the eyes work, and we're going to listen to see how our vision helps us to understand the world around us. Imagine a typical day. You're always looking around at people and books and screens, at animals and cars and trees. Before crossing a street, you look both ways for traffic. What part of your body do you use to look at all these things? Your eyes, of course. And which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Exactly, that wondrous brain of yours. Human eyes work together with the brain in order to see. All of your senses, your sense of sight is the one you use the most. More than half of all the information you collect from your environment is received through your eyes. Then, the information is sent to the back of your brain, or sent back to your brain, sometimes called the mind's eye, where your brain interprets what your eyes see and creates a picture for you. So let's look at your skull. On your skull, you can see these cranial bones. Remember the cranial bones, or the cranium. This is the part that houses your brain, and it's only one part of your skull. Besides the 8 flat cranial bones, you also have 20 additional skull bones. Some of those form the eye sockets, the 2 holes that are the perfect size for housing and protecting your eyeball. Before we take a look at your eyeball, let's see what surrounds your eyes. There are other things that play an important part in helping you to see. There are hairs above the eyes. These are called the eyebrows. They're not just there to look pretty. They actually have a purpose. Does anyone know what they do? Well, your eyebrows keep the dust and sweat out of your eyes. Now, close your eyes. What is that skin called that covers your eyes? That's right, that's your eyelids. Your eyelids protect your eyes too, keeping your eyes moist by spreading tears over them. Tears are produced by tear glands located above each eyeball and on the underside of the eyelid. These salt water droplets keep your eyes wet and help them to fight germs. Tear ducts are tiny raised bumps located in the corner of your eye, containing openings no larger than a pinhole. These tiny openings are the drains for your tears. Normally, these tear ducts do their job of draining without you even knowing it. What do you think you would be doing if your tear ducts couldn't drain a lot of tears fast enough? That's right, you'd be crying. So the tear ducts actually absorb the tears back that your eyelids cover your eyes with. And without those drains, then you would begin to have tears that would run down your eyes. Your eyelashes, the short curved hairs growing on the edge of your eyelids, keep the dust particles out as well. There are muscles all around each eye, 6 in all. They control your eye's movements, allowing them to swivel in their sockets, looking up and down, side to side. So you have eyelids, eyebrows, eyelashes. All of these are some of the external parts that help protect the eyeball. Now we're ready to take a peek at the parts of your eyeball itself. So think, what shape is your eyeball? It may appear oval to you, but the eyeball is actually well named because it is round, just like a basketball. It looks oval because some parts are hidden behind the eyelids. What color are your eyes? Does anyone know the name for the colored part of their eye? Let's find out. Look at this picture. The outer, visible part of the eye includes the sclera. You can see the sclera is this white part. The cornea, which is the edge of the colored area. The iris, and then the pupil. The white outer layer of this eye is called the sclera. The thin, though transparent tissue that covers the colored part of the eye is called the cornea. It allows light to pass through. Together, the sclera and the cornea protect the eye from germs, dangerous particles, and damaging light rays. The colored part of the eye, the disc, located just behind the transparent cornea, is called the iris. At the center of the iris is a black circle. Do you see it? This dark circular hole called the pupil varies in size as it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. The muscles of the iris control the size of the pupil, tightening to make the pupil smaller in bright light, and relaxing to make the pupil larger in dim light. You can only see clearly if the right amount of light enters your eyes. Eyes are designed to focus light. Every part of the eyeball has a role to play, including those parts that lie inside the eyeball. So, what is inside the eyes? Liquid and jelly. That's right. Eyes are soft and hollow. The clear fluid and jelly inside them gives them their round shape. There are 3 important parts inside the eyeball that help you to see: the lens, the retina, and the optic nerve. In order to see, you need light. It can be natural light from the sun or electrical light from a bulb, but all seeing begins with light. The eyes see objects by seeing the light that reflects or bounces off of the object. Imagine that you're looking at a house. The sun shines down on the house. Light from the sun bounces off the house and travels to your eyes. Light rays bend toward each other as they pass through the cornea. the transparent tissue that covers the iris. This bending is the first step in focusing light. The bent light rays that pass through the pupil to a clear disc called the lens. The rubbery, flexible lens adjusts its shape in order to focus on near or distant objects, creating crisp images. As the light rays pass through the lens, they bend even closer, cross one another, and land on the cup-shaped retina at the back of the eye. An image of the house is formed on the retina, but because light rays are bent, the image appears upside down on the retina. The light-receiving cells of the retina transfer light rays into electrical energy so that the nervous system can send information to your brain via the optic nerve. The short, thick optic nerve is fixed to the back of the eyeball, just behind the retina, acting like a cable. It passes through a tunnel in the skull and connects the eyeball to the brain. The optic nerve carries messages to the brain to be processed. The brain recreates the image so that the house is now seen right side up. As the eyes work together with the nervous system, this whole process takes less than a second to complete. When you think of the factors and parts of the eye that are involved in allowing us to see, it is indeed wondrous to think that it takes less than 1 second to see an object. Eyes are so important to us that it is troubling when things do go wrong with our eyes, preventing us from seeing as well as we would like. Two of the most common eye problems are nearsightedness and farsightedness. Have you heard those terms before? Let's find out what they mean. We know that people come in all shapes and sizes. Look around you. Legs and arms and faces and heads are all different shapes and sizes. So it makes sense that eyes vary in shape and size from one person to the next person. The size and shape of the eye affects the ability to focus light and work well. In perfect vision, as light rays pass through the lens of the eye, they meet in just the right place to project a clear image on the retina. But sometimes the cornea or the lenses are not quite the right shape to bend the light in the most effective way. Sometimes the shape of the eyeball affects how clearly images are projected to the retina. When these things occur, vision may be blurry. In nearsightedness, the eyeball size in relation to the cornea affects its focusing power, so images are projected or focused in front of the retina. Nearby objects are seen clearly, but distant objects are out of focus. So if I look at these two, the person who is nearsighted is going to see things closer to them more clearly than things away from them. In farsightedness, the eyeball size affects the focus power in the lens so that images are projected or focused behind the retina. Distant objects seen clearer, but nearby objects are out of focus. So the bottom picture shows what a farsighted person would see. Things up close are blurry, things far away are perfectly focused. Both of these problems can be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. Before I go, let's try another riddle or two. I reflect off objects and enter your eyes. I bend to help you see. Your sight depends on me. What am I? That's right, light. Your vision depends on light. Objects appear upside down on me. I live at the back of your eyeball. What am I? That would be your retina. Your retina is where objects are projected to in the back of your eye. I am the part of your eye that is colored. Sometimes I'm green, but I could be brown or gray or blue. What am I? That's right. That's your iris. Okay, it's time for me to go. Next time, we'll look at the smallest bone in your body. Can anyone predict where that bone might be? Here's a hint. It's part of another sensory organ. So today's word is wondrous. Let's think about the word wondrous. In our reading today, you heard, and which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Yes, the wondrous brain. So we were talking about the wondrous brain. Wondrous means amazing, miraculous, or awesome. What is something you think is wondrous? And why do you think that? So if you could say to yourself, I think blank is wondrous because, what's something that you think is amazing or miraculous or awesome? What part of speech would that be? If I said the wondrous brain, wondrous is doing what? It's describing the brain. It's saying that we think that the brain is amazing or miraculous or awesome. And when we use a word to describe another object, what part of speech is that? Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? That's correct. Adjectives describe nouns, and brain is a noun. And when we say the wondrous brain, we are telling how wondrous we think the brain is. It is amazing. Okay, so that is all of lesson 7. Tomorrow, we will do lesson 8.